I can feel it coming on the air tonight. Oh Lord. Hey, hi there. Yep, it's me. It's a Superman effect. Who am I? A stranger. Oh my goodness. Hey, it's you, it's me, it's Eric. I know, it's confusing. I try to keep the glasses off for that reason, because, you know, there's no possible way to recognize me when I have glasses on. So, anyway, I'm still getting tore up by allergies. I don't know what's happened. This is kind of an odd year. I went from like brown grass and no leaves on the trees to like, I need to start mowing, and it's summer. I think even the trees are surprised. I have leaves. What? You know, like, you know, when you're rudely awakened by, let's say, an alarm clock, or, you know, something heavy falling, and you have children in the house, you know, or the fridge opening, you have children in the house, just rudely awakened. I think that's the trees. I think that's all of the stuff, and they're just these violent explosion of pollen in the air, and my body's not liking it. So I keep the doors closed in the shop, but when I do open them, because it's so nice out, immediately I just feel like there's just lots happening. Anyway, welcome to Eric's Time of Complaining, where we talk about the ailments Eric is experiencing on a daily basis. All right, now we've got that segment out of the way. This week, crossing our fingers, both our fingers and our toes, we're gonna make a ton of progress on the Roadrunner. So, if you remember from last week, I got one header in. It was the easy side, because, you know, you should always start with the easy side. I don't know why I do that. I should do the hard side first, and then the easy side's like, no problem. But no, I do the easy side first, and then it makes the hard side harder. So we're gonna go over and try to squeeze in a bundle of pipes, exhaust pipes, onto the driver's side of the engine. That's gotta be the first thing, because I can't bolt the engine down until I know that I've got that in. So that's number one. We do have to put exhaust on that car. I don't know if we'll get to that this week, but we've got an exhaust kit, kind of like we put on Dale. We'll weld up, and he hasn't decided on exhaust tips just yet, but they're gonna be coming out the back. What else? And then basically just hooking everything back up. It's actually gonna be a simpler project than Dale, because we don't have air conditioning, we don't have cruise control, we don't have to redo brackets. The engine's the same on the exterior as it was. It's going in, everything it had on it will bolt up onto it, so it shouldn't be as complicated. We're not gonna have to fabricate weird things. I did have to order a different throttle cable bracket because of the high-rise intake. So, you know, to get that bracket up where the carburetor is, did have to do that, but otherwise most things should just plug in. So, super glad you're here. Let's not have any more ado, no more ado. Without further ado, let's dive into the Roadrunner, and we're gonna start with the hardest thing first, which of course is the driver's side header. See you over there. All right, so as a reminder, we have got this header. It's all clearance. The reason why there's this big hole and everything in here is that we need to clearance the starter, which is of course right here. Now, I will probably, I don't know have to take the starter out to get that in. Of course, then how do I get the starter in with all of the pipes here? That's one thing. The other thing, this Z-bar, I'm gonna have to take out this ball here out of the bell housing, slide it in the Z-bar, and then screw it back in the bell housing. Because as you can see, that's not gonna work. Last week we put it in there, but I had to take it back out to move the motor over this way to get this header in here. So as you can see, I've still got the space blanket in there to protect paint. I can pull that out. I dislike long tube headers, okay? Let's just talk about that complaint again. They look cool. Yes, they look cool. I put them on my 78 Bronco, but on that truck, I had the body off the frame. I built the motor and built the exhaust just with a bare frame. It's not even comparable to putting headers anyway. Not a fan. Like, there's some science, you know, with the different lengths. You've got short, mid, long. There's, you know, power numbers, torque numbers, and everything. But I will argue until I'm dead, you will not notice in a street car with street tires, seat of the pants feel, the difference between a long tube and a short tube. You won't notice it. At the drag strip, numbers, with slicks, yeah, this car's never gonna see the drag strip, okay? Now, I'm not saying the owner made the wrong choice. I'm just taking some time to complain, you know? I understand it is a look, and it should be your choice what look you want. But from an installer perspective, and from a driver of cars, not a fan at all. So, but we're gonna get on the struggle bus again and try to get this one in. What's that? Am I done complaining? You must be new here. Okay, definitely not done complaining. All right, well, let me, yeah, you just hang out a minute and you can help me do this. We're just gonna figure this out together. Several hours later, and I do mean several hours, shall I walk you through it? Lest you think when you're working on your project, it only happens to you. Well, it doesn't only happen to you, it happens to everybody. So, first of all, I had to, well, let's just start with the big one. The header is in place. It's not bolted up yet, but I got it in. So, but the first thing I had to do, if you notice way up in here, that Z-bar right here has that bushing that goes in it and on this post. So I had to take it apart when I was installing this side because I had to scoot the engine over that way to make room. So that's why you saw me take it off the lift, because I had to get it on the ground, pick the motor up, drop the tail shaft of the transmission so I could get that installed again. Then I put it back on the lift and discovered there's just no way to install this. No way. This steering linkage was completely in the way. Even the Z-bar was giving me problems. The spark plugs in the way. Starter in the way. So take some advice from Uncle Eric. And if you're thinking about long tube headers in your B-body Chrysler, unless it's a car that only sees the racetrack, that's a very small percentage. Don't do long tube headers. Just don't do it. Do some nice mid-length, some nice short headers into, you know, some bigger exhaust. It'll sound good, it'll look good, and more importantly, you won't lose your religion when you're installing them. It's not worth it. So, however, they are in. So this is the challenge now, of course, since I beat these off, wherever the other one is. I don't, you know, lots of stuff right here. These boots are kind of destroyed, so I'm gonna probably end up replacing those as well. So keep that in mind as well. When you're doing this, there are some other things you're gonna end up doing. I've got the motor lifted up and kind of pushed that way a little bit. Yeah, there's just a whole lot of nonsense going on. So it's up in there. You can see I've just got it kind of sitting there gently, and I'm gonna have to set the car back down. Actually, I might put the starter on right now, and then I'm gonna set the car back down, and I'm gonna come in from the top and put in the gasket, and I'm gonna bolt it up. So, but right where it sits now, I can see it's resting on that steering box. I'll go stick a rag between that so it doesn't scratch it. Yeah, I can get the starter in, and then I can bolt it up. So, and then I can put the steering back together with parts that I'm gonna have to order. So maybe I should do that first, and then I'll do the rest. And hey, and then we can start actually putting, you know, engine mount bolts in. We can start assembling the top of the motor. We still have to install the exhaust on the car, but after this, that'll be simple. Easy peasy, no problem. So I gotta put a drive shaft in and, you know, stuff like that. So anyway, yeah, I just wanted to update you on the struggle and just, you know, give you some friendly advice because I care. Okay, well, let me get to it. See you in a bit. so we've got them in. I've got them bolted up. I will probably double check a little bit later, maybe tomorrow, on my header bolts. I did kind of re-snug down that side after it's been a few days. Got the plugs in, and what? Yeah, I'm done complaining about long tube headers, okay? I understand that you're tired of hearing about long blah, 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 okay? So I didn't bring it up, you did. I will tell you, I'm gonna be super sad if I ever have to take that starter out. Where's my light? Here it is. So you'll notice the starter is it's in there. I don't believe there's any way you could get it out from the bottom or from the top. I think you'd have to loosen the header to get it out. So I'm hoping that won't ever be an issue. I'm hoping it just works properly. So let's get up in the air and see what it looks like from the bottom. I got some tape to take off of there. Once everything looks okay, then we'll get the motor mount bolts in and all that fun stuff. Okay, so let's take this off of here. Kind of helpful for protecting it from scrapes. It's almost impossible to completely protect it, but hopefully the little scrapes you get in while putting these nice ones in, you know, they're down underneath where road debris is gonna kind of snag on them anyway. They'll be fine. Okay, so I will tell you one thing I am impressed about. So I'm looking specifically for anything touching the headers. More tape, okay? I'm looking up in here. They clear all the steering just fine. They clear the starter. This is a mini starter, so that'll help. It looks like it's clearing this Z-bar linkage. It'll move freely. Yeah, I'm not sure. I can see up here it's kind of close. If I turn the wheel, if I can turn the wheel, can I turn the wheel? Let me, hang on a second. Okay, I'm an idiot. Clearly my mind isn't working properly. It'd be the steering wheel, not the wheel, because, you know, there's nothing connected. It's all, anyway. Let's just, you know, gloss over that little brain fart. Yeah, so I'll want to turn the steering wheel to see if this clears this header. As long as it does, if I gotta do a little tiny ding right here, I will, but hopefully I don't have to. Everything else seems like these are very, very well thought out, other than, you know, impossible to get in. So, I gotta order some new end links and whatnot. So let me go do that, and then what's next? Oh yeah, gotta put the bolts in for the you know, motor mounts, and I'm still waiting on bolts for the transmission mounts, but not a huge deal. We can continue to work up top to get all that stuff going. Cool. All right. Long tube headers. Here it goes.
kind of blue. But their concentration changes when you walk into the room. It makes you go, the kind of thing that makes you go, it kind of makes you go, those things that make you go, it makes you go, things that make you go, those things that make you go, those things that make you go. You feel there's something wrong, 'cause the actions you can't defend, but you're afraid to talk about it, afraid of losing your best friend. Well, all the time you wonder if they're making a fool of you, and your mind is in a whirl, and you don't know what to do. It makes you go, the kind of thing that makes you go, the thing you go, it makes you wanna go, make you wanna, the thing that make you wanna go. Your best friend is over and you feel bad. Deep down in your heart you feel so sad. It make you go, it make you go, thing that make you go, make you go, make you go, make you go. The moral of the story is you gotta treat your woman right, then you won't have to worry or toss and turn at night. Let her know you love her.
Okay, the wires are done. I've got some stuff to wrap up underneath, like fill the differential, fill the transmission, hook up the linkage, actually both the steering linkage and the clutch linkage. That won't take me much time at all. I'm just waiting on a tie rod end. I got the wrong one. Yeah. Left hand, right hand, you know, threads. Well, I just clicked and ordered and it came and I tried to put it on. I'm like, nope, this isn't right. So I clicked and ordered and the other part number had an L on it. So it's the left, L for left. Anyway, you know, when your mind is busy trying to get things done, sometimes you don't pay attention. You just click it and go. So everything you see here is mocked in. Nothing is tight. It looks like it's done, but it's not. So what I'm going to do next is start at the back of the engine bay and move towards the front of the car and just start double checking all of my work, getting everything tightened down and snugged down now that I know where it fits where it's going to go. We've got the wires. The wires run very nicely on this side, all up underneath. It's just the way the headers are. So you get this really nice tube running up the top there that just, I don't know, it looks nice and shiny and beautiful. This side, not so much, just because of the way they have to be piped. You've got to have wires running to the outside of them because there's no room to tuck in. It's okay. You know, they're black. It's one of the reasons I went with black wires, is to kind of have them fade into the background. Once the hood is on, there's not direct light on this, a lot of that thing will just kind of fade into the background. So we've got our PCV valve and hose. We've got the nipple in here going to the brake booster. I've got the oil pressure run. I've got the water temperature run, but not tight. Nothing's tight. So I did loom this wire. I had some painless loom. It just had some old crappy looking stuff, and some of these ends the wires were so brittle just from the heat off the engine, years and years of it, they just get brittle. So I trimmed them back, put new ends on them. And so I just have some neatening up to do here for sure. So we're gonna start at this end, work our way toward this end. Once everything is tight, I've got belts on, everything's adjusted up to this point, then we'll start test fitting the radiator, get some hoses on. I've got these hoses on, but not tight. Again, nothing is tight. So it's looking good though. It's looking like a complete engine. And all of this finicky work, it takes hours and hours to have something that doesn't look like much work has been done. There's a lot of thought that goes into it to make sure everything works together once it is together. So now is the time tightening things up. That doesn't take long. I can just do that real quick, and then we'll start putting the radiator in. Now the radiator has electric fans, so I'll have to mount a relay, find all of my power sources, and run wire for that too. So you can just sit back and relax while I do that and act like it just took 2 minutes. But in reality, it probably took 2 hours or 3 hours, 4 hours, just depending. So, and then when my parts come, I'll finish out the bottom of the car and should be good. So it's getting close. It's getting very close. Very excited. Actually, when I say it's getting close to starting to put exhaust on. That's what it's getting close to. If I can finish this up, that is the next step. Once I feel like everything is together and the way it needs to be, we'll just dive right into, like we did on Dale, just fitting the exhaust. And I won't do quite as much welding on this exhaust. The owner prefers that it's clamped. That's fine. He can bring it somewhere, or he can weld it himself later. So we're gonna clamp a lot of it with band clamps, thick clamps. So that is the plan. That's the plan. We have a plan. Now we just need to execute it. Well, I guess it's up to me. Every time I say it's time to work, the room just gets very, very empty, except for me. So I'm in it. Okay, hang out. I'll be back with you shortly. expect to see my face, did you? Well, what you saw me doing, we're under the car again, as you can tell, was trying to fit the radiator, also doing some wiring and all that stuff. But so here, let me show you. You probably saw it. This is the shroud. I have a lot of good luck with cold case. That's the radiator we ordered with the fan and the shroud. However, for some reason, I don't know, I should call them and ask them. See if we can look, since I've already moved the car up. The water pump sticks out too far to have the shroud on and the fan on where it's located, so the fan motor would hit the water pump. Well, I put the fan back on, and then we talked about, or the engine fan back on, and then we talked about it, and we decided just to mount the electric fan straight to the radiator. And so I did that and have been wiring up the, relay. So with these electric fans, the relay, you've got essentially one coming fused directly from the battery. The other one on the other side of that, it's usually the two thick wires going directly to the electric fan itself. And the electric fan, it has two wires. One is power and the other just goes directly to ground. And then on the other relay, or on the other two wires of the relay, you've got a ground wire and scratch that. You have a 12 volt keyed wire, and then your signal wire from the switch that's turning it on and off. In this case, it's a temperature switch. I've ordered it, it's not here yet. It's going to replace this. This is actually the idiot light switch for the car, but the car has a regular gauge now, or it does, so we don't use the idiot light, so I'm going to use this port for the switch for the fan, and it'll come on at a predetermined temperature and it'll turn off at a predetermined temperature. So essentially all that switch does is it's always open, and then when it closes, it's creating a ground switch, basically a ground switch, which triggers the relay and allows the power to go through to the fan. So you can wire those relays. You could wire, if you didn't want to use a temperature switch, you could take the wire that goes to the temperature switch and just run it to a toggle switch inside the car. And then you're essentially doing the same thing. It always open. When you flip the switch, it completes the ground and triggers the fan. So I don't know if you wanted to know all that, but it seems like this is the third one I've done in a week, and I might be doing another one. I don't know. Anyway, it's not that complicated, and most fan kits come with some sort of a diagram. It's pretty simple. The tricky part is usually finding your 12 volt switched. Like, what wire is that? You can just tie into any one. And in this case, I tied into the one that feeds the, well, see, I shouldn't have started talking. My brain froze up. I want to say capacitor. Anyway, doesn't matter. It was a tough night last night. I woke up feeling like I'd been boxing or something. I was sore. So, well, it's up in the air. I put it up in the air primarily because, well, see, I'm bumping my head. if we can take a look, there's the fuel pump. And can we see? I can't see. Well, it's up here somewhere. Can you see that? This is the hard fuel line that comes down from the carburetor. So I have to terminate it here on, I can't see, I'm just doing this by feel. Yeah, fuel pump up to there. And then I gotta hook this up to the fuel pump as well, and that'll be done. I'm just doing this by feel, which is telling me this is not going to be super fun because I have this great cross member in my way. I don't know why it's there, I guess for the suspension to be mounted to. Anyway, it's probably easier down here than it is up there. Also, while I'm down here, we're gonna put fluid in the transmission, put fluid in the differential, and attach the clutch linkage. That'll be great. And then start bolting up the exhaust. So while it's up here, let's knock out some of these undercar things because really we're getting close to finishing up above. So I've got one of these shrink clamps for the bottom, waiting on some stuff for the top, but we're gonna do shrink clamps on the top as well. Did a regular clamp there, just so there's a way to, without having to cut it, we can just loosen that one if we need to pull the radiator or anything like that. So, but these can be cut and then you can just put another one on if you want to. So anyway, that's the scoop. That's what's been happening. Oh yeah, I guess I need to reattach the end link here. Where is he? That's the old one. Here's the new one. Precision. Hopefully the thread pitch is correct on that one now. I guess I could try it while we're here. Why not? You know, exciting live discoveries going on here. Let's see. Let's just stick a hole in the bag. How about that? And see if she threads. Threads. Oh, I felt like it was about to start. Come on. Are you kidding me? You know, it might be wrong again. Seriously? Gotta be kidding me. I ordered the one for the left side. So why isn't it working? Let me look at the threads. What's the threads doing? Oh, it's their left-handed threads. Seriously. This is not a left-handed, okay. Hang on. No. See, that's left-handed threads. And if I look at this one, those are right-handed threads. Okay. You saw it here first. I ordered the right one and it's still wrong. You know, I'm counting to 10 because I'm frustrated. You know, when it says on the screen, on the computer, what it's for and where it goes, and it's not right, well, it kind of pisses me off a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna jump on the computer, get another one coming, and see if I'll just order them all. I'll just order all of them and see what happens. And then we'll get started on the fuel and then all this other stuff. So, all right, as you were. Okay. Mistakes have been made. That's what's happened. You just watched several hours of struggle and pain for nothing. Well, maybe for your own entertainment, but for nothing essentially. No benefit to me at all. I will explain. It won't take but a second. So as you can see, I've been trying to install this exhaust system on the 69 Roadrunner. Now you'll notice as we come back, I've just got this mocked up. We've got a discrepancy, okay? These pipes don't even get close to lining up first with the cross member cutouts, but second, just to the headers. Nothing is lining up. Back here, also, you can see where this hanger is. I don't know if you can see, it might be too dark. This should be hanging straight down to this hanger, but this hanger is that way. This one is right, this works fine, but then where this cross member, this can come up and that's fine, but it's all pointing the wrong direction. In the back, the length seems good and everything. It goes over the rear housing here fine. It actually doesn't look like it's bad, but it's not right. I mean, these hangers are fine. You know, they're doing what they're supposed to do. So, I struggled with this yesterday, as you saw, for several hours. They had some extra pipe, just depending on how you were laying it out. And I even cut those because nothing was matching. The flared end wasn't gonna, nothing was matching. So I was like, well, let's cut these off, make it work. I am used to kits not exactly working, and sometimes they're for several different cars, so they give you some extra pipe or some, for the different variations. That wasn't even working. And as you could see, not lining up at all. So this morning I came out with the full intention of saying, well, I'm just gonna have to do some cutting and pasting on this thing. This is the worst kit ever. It's a Pipes Performance exhaust kit. It's stainless steel. It's supposed to be great. It was awful. It's just terrible. So I had a couple cups of coffee. That usually helps me think. Yesterday was afternoon. You're just getting to the next thing. This morning I'm clear-eyed, clear-minded. So I was like, something's not adding up. 2 + 2 isn't equaling 4 here. It's equaling like 1.5. It's just not adding up. So I walked over to the box, which I never throw the box away until I'm done with the project. Well, right here, it says 67 to 74 Mopar A-body. A-body? A-body? Well, that's not an A-body. That's a B-body. Okay, well, that would explain it. Well, I didn't buy this exhaust system. The customer bought the exhaust system. Like I said, mistakes were made. I try to do all the parts buying on these projects because then it's my fault and I can try to minimize the amount of mistakes that are made. In this case, he bought some parts ahead of time. I said, yeah, go ahead, buy the exhaust, whatever, put it on. Yeah. there's not like, there's no reason for blame. I make mistakes in ordering parts. Sorry, sound guy. Apologize. Keep my hand talking out here. Anyway, it's just a mistake, and it's sad because now I've got a couple of the pieces are cut. Well, and I've used the hangers. I don't think it can be returned, but also I can't install it. So I've reached out to him to see what he wants to do. It's just money and time, but I can't get this exhaust system to work on this car. And well, it's used. So if you have an A-body, it would still work for you. Even with the couple of cut pieces, it would work fine. Because they're just two short pieces that I had to make work. I should have looked at the box yesterday. I didn't. He should have ordered the right part. He didn't. There's enough blame to go around is what I'm saying. But we can't go forward like this, which stalls the project out, which isn't great. Neither of us want this project to be stalled out. We want it to be done. So anyway, just wait a minute. I'll see what he has to say, and then in the meantime, while I'm waiting, I'll hook up the steering because I did get the right end link finally, and maybe I'll work inside the car, get the shifter boot put in. I've got a switch to install there and all of that stuff. So I'll just work on that stuff while I'm waiting for him to come to a conclusion. Oh, so frustrating. We'll get it done. It's just a delay. So be right back. All right, well, I don't have any coolant in it, but I'm going to try to crank it for the first time. Pretty sure I have it at top dead center, checked all of my wires, and yeah, just run it for a minute if it'll run, if it'll even start. But, you know, I didn't want to leave you out just in case it didn't start. You know, you could laugh at me, because I know that's what you like to do. So, all right, countdown always makes me nervous. Just make sure it's in neutral. It's in neutral. All right, let's give her a try. Okay, I'm not getting any fuel pressure yet. I think I'm gonna just dump a little fuel down there to see if I can, you know, get her going. Key is on. Yep, rolled forward. Now let's put some more fuel in these bowls. Come on. Hey, whoop, we're just totally making a mess. Okay, not full. All right, we got a little bit in there. Try it again. Ooh. Okay. I'd say we're still a little off on the timing. but there's a spark happening. So let me go back through it, double check it, make sure, and we'll try it again. So it's okay, you can laugh, it's fine. You know, this is just par for the course. I eyeballed it, but I got old man eyes, so you know how that goes. All right, let's give this another try. I have fuel pressure, I was off by 2, go figure. What I won't tell you is that that's where I had the wires originally, and I checked top dead center, changed it. Yeah, always check top dead center. So I took the spark plug out of number 1 and then just disconnected, you know, the coil so the car doesn't try to start. You put your finger on it and take the cap off, because then you can see when you get compression on that number 1, you can see where it is. Well, it had jogged itself forward, and I thought I had stopped it earlier, but I didn't. And so I changed it, and then it didn't work. And then I changed it back just now, and we're gonna see if it works, as it should. I don't know why it wouldn't. So, key on, no, key on. All right, in neutral. I'll get ready to turn the key off. Forgetting anything? I don't think so. Let's try it again. All right, that's what I'm talking about. I ran out of fuel. Then I tried to give it fuel and it backfired. But that's okay, we heard it run. You know, 460 odd some horsepower. It's ready to rock and roll. I don't have any coolant in it. I'm waiting on some clamps before I do that. And also I need my switch for the fan. I'm waiting on that to come in so I can put the switch in. I can wire the switch up that runs the electric fan that basically senses what temperature it is and closes when it gets a certain temperature and opens when it cools down. So, yeah. So basically I'm waiting on those things and exhaust, because I took the exhaust off and put it in the box. So we'll just wait to see if he's going to order another kit or whatever. He's out of town right now, so no rush. I think because I'm waiting on those things, we're going to call it quits for this episode. I got bees flying around the shop, you know. Then they land on the car. They kind of act sickly. Well, I think that was a super bee that landed on my Roadrunner. I've been alone way too long in this shop. Hello? Okay, talking to myself. Anyway, good news. Motor runs. It's going to be rowdy. It's going to be rowdy. This will have to move to a part 3. I don't know if that will be next week, because I don't know when the exhaust is coming in and all of that. But for sure, I have got some other stuff coming. We've got some old friends that are coming back, and we've got some new friends that we're gonna work on. So we're all friends in here, right, guys and gals? I don't know. Do I have any gals? I don't know. Do you? You know, I name all of my cars. I name other people's cars just so I know who I'm talking about when I'm in the shop. You know, I call it a nickname because I'm sure the owner has their own. If they tell me what they are, for instance, Leroy, that brown Dodge pickup, actually he's coming back. That's his owner's named him that. But everything else, the Dustang, that's my nickname. So Disco's back. The Corvette. Yeah, Black Mustang. Red Nova. I don't know, Red Mustang. I don't know. I don't have names for everybody. Looks like I wrote, for this Red Mustang, I wrote the nickname Red, because I was not feeling particularly creative that day. So, do you like, if you name your car, obviously you've got to give it like a gender. Is it a girl or is it a boy? Dustang, kind of, I'm gonna call, it's a male car. This Roadrunner, in my mind, is a male. Anyway, the Roadrunner was a male. At least in my mind, you know, my child mind. Disco, still think it's a male car. Black Mustang, I don't know. I don't know. It's not, it doesn't have a name. Mr. F, well, if you know, you know. Anyway, let's go grab a beverage and sit down just for a quick minute, and then we can go our separate ways. Oh, still too hot. Oh man, well, I'm excited we got to hear it fire off, and you know, it feeds my sense of accomplishment, and that's what I need. Yeah, that exhaust was, you know, exhausting. Wow, more creativity out the window. Look out. Oh, but we'll get it sorted out. It'll be fine. I need to mow. Can you believe it's time to mow already? I'm sure you're mowing, or maybe you're not. Maybe you're like, I don't need to mow. Let the grass go natural, you know? I can appreciate that, but I can't do it. I can't. I literally can't. You know, you might say, yes, you can. If you want, just walk away. Just don't look at it. But I can't. I see it. And anyway, I enjoy walking in short grass. And so I end up having to mow it, which is fine. It actually is kind of my outdoor time. You know, I spend a lot of time in this shop, a lot of time. And it is fun for me to jump on the mower. It's a bad boy. You've seen it around, 60-inch. And I like to get on it, put my AirPods in or put my earmuffs on, listen to a book or some music or nothing at all, and just enjoy being outside. So it's kind of it's my outdoor time, you know? So that and trimming. So anyway, I'm probably gonna go do that. Actually, I've just talked it up so much now I want to do it. So, but I gotta relax a minute first. You can't just dive right in, right? You gotta ease in. You know, you gotta land the plane. You gotta take the plane off. You can't just like crash into the ground and walk away and jump in a rocket. I know that falls apart, so don't think about it too hard. As usual, I appreciate you hanging out. I really do. I am amazed at just how lucky I am to be doing this and how much fun it is to share it with you. And, you know, we get something done, you know. Sometimes it doesn't go the way we want it to, but That's life, 100%. If you're doing a project and everything seems like it's against you, welcome to the club. So anyway, hey, we'll see you next week. I've got a new project in the shop that you've seen around, I'm sure. And we'll just knock out a couple of to-do things on that, and maybe something else. I don't know, it's hard to know. We just fly by the seat of our pants here and crash and fly rockets. I don't know. Anyway, cheers. We'll see you next week.